Kong Skull Island has just hit theaters. I watched it last night with my dad and my friends, and it's a fun movie. This is I'm at Prime reviewing Kong Skull Island. It is directed by Jordan Roberts, and it's not the same as every other King Kong movie we've seen. It's a reinterpretation in this new monster cinematic universe. It is not exactly a sequel to Godzilla, but it's a follow-up from it. It's made by roughly the producers of Godzilla. It's in that same universe. And with 2014 Godzilla, when Godzilla was on screen, it was a great movie. Otherwise, it was very bland and very, very rough at times and boring because, well, spoilers. We were hoping for Bryan Cranston to verse Godzilla, and that was not what we got. And in the trailer for Kong Skull Island, we saw Sam Jackson versing King Kong. And in a way, this is what we got. It's a very fun, action-packed movie, but there are a lot of problems. So it has a cast of Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson, John Goodman, John C. Reilly, and one of the most underrated actors who gets a lot of bad films but is really talented, Toby Kebbel. So the thing that started off the film that I liked was it's very fun. The best thing about it, of course, is Kong. And it's also played in motion capture by Toby Kebbel, which is kind of cool since in 2005 King Kong, Andy Serkis, the king of motion capture, was King Kong. And Toby Kebbel's kind of like his apprentice in a way because he was Koba in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and Andy Serkis was Caesar in the Planet of the Apes film. So they had a bit of experience with each other, and now he's playing Kong. So they've both played Kong. And comparing both King Kongs, they are both great. I reckon I prefer how Andy Serkis' one looks, but a 100-foot Kong is way better than a 25-foot Kong. Kong was amazing. The action scenes of Kong are the best. The best scene in the film, what you've seen from the trailer, is the helicopter scene. First seeing Kong. It is jaw-dropping. It is great action, but just the introduction of seeing this massive ape it's amazing. It was by far the best part of the film. And Toby Kebbel is really talented. He gets a lot of shit movies now and then, but he's a great motion capture actor. He's very underrated, and I just want to say, Toby Kebbel, you were great in this film. In both your roles. Your massive role and a little role, literally. Another great thing about this film is the soundtrack. I realise these days the films I love watching are films with a great soundtrack. Like a lot of people doing like Suicide Squad. I enjoyed it because of the soundtrack. I love Guardians of the Galaxy because of the soundtrack. For me, honestly, just put some great music in it and I'll have a great time in the theatre and I'll really enjoy it. The soundtrack was great. It was a very Apocalypse Now 70s soundtrack. It was good. Another great thing about this film is the visual design. The effects are amazing, and I wouldn't say there's amazing cinematography, but the shots they use for Skull Island are very well done. There's this great scene of Kong with the sun in the background. It's shot beautifully, and that's another good thing about these monster films. Having creatures of such a large scale gives you a good chance to do these great director shots. I saw it in Godzilla as well, but I thought it was a bland film. But they use that in both Godzilla and Kong, and it's done really well. And look, that's the other thing. With Godzilla, I went out disappointing. Godzilla was great when he was on screen, but he was barely on screen. But then again, in this film, so is Kong. He's there, but I want to see who's on screen longer. Is it Godzilla or Kong? But in terms of a monster movie, we go to watch creature flicks and everything for fun. And Kong Skull Island is a much more funner movie than Godzilla. I will say Godzilla is possibly better directed with the camera work, but definitely Kong Skull Island is a much funner monster movie. It's not the best monster movie. I still reckon Pacific Rim is the best monster movie, but it was very fun. But now we go to the negatives of the film. The human characters, they kind of suck. They're very underdeveloped. There's too many. They've put too many human characters in their hands. There's your protagonists and your supporting characters. Some of the supporting characters have a better role than the protagonist characters, so it's everywhere, and they're all loosely written with the script. It's not a very good script the characters have been written, because they've got such good talent. Tom Hiddleston, he's such a great actor now ever since portrayal of Loki. Brie Larson is an Oscar winner, and all the time in this movie, not necessarily bad, but she's just going... And for Oscar winning actress, you would expect a bit better performance. And Sam Jackson, really my favourite actor. He makes everything fun, which it was fun, but his role in this film was just... It's not real. I mean, I know this is a monster movie, it's not supposed to be real, but it's not a realistic portrayal. But still, it was a fun character in the film. The best character was probably John Goodman. He is the one who runs Monarch. This is the operation that goes searching for these unidentified massive terrestrial beings on Earth. And he was one of my favourite characters, probably the best performance. I like John Goodman. And then you got John C. Reilly. He's the humour in this movie. He probably steals the show from most people around the second act. He is funny now and then, but look, he was good fun. You like the character a bit, but they were all a bit underdeveloped. And you got Toby Kebbel as well. Not only does he play Kong, but he's also a soldier in this. So he has a little role and big role, literally, like I said before. But the human characters they're very rushed, they're underdeveloped. It's just a group of people you really don't care about. And unfortunately, most of the time, you're stuck with him in the film rather than Kong. I will say a lot of people got turned off this film because they want to see Kong more. And while Kong is great, you see him less, you see the humans more. And we go to these monster movies to watch Kong, not these humans. So they were a bit underdeveloped, I'd say. This can be good and bad. It's cheesy as hell. The dialogue, some of the deaths in this thing, it's cartoony, it is cheesy. But at the same time, it's funny. You got to expect from this, but it is way, way cheesy compared to the 2005 King Kong. That to me it's one of my favorite movies. It's one of my top 50 movies. It's more cinematic. It's more of a masterpiece of a film compared to this Kong. But at the same time, you don't want to do the same King Kong movie all over again. So I still appreciated what it offered us, Kong Skull Island. It was very cheesy, I will say, but it was funny. It was funny. I laughed a couple of times in the cinema. But at the same time, the comedy is a bit of a hit and miss sometimes. John C. Reilly is very funny. I will say that. He is funny. But in the first act, they try to give us a lot of jokes, and I didn't really hear anyone laugh sometimes. It's not the best script, I would say, this film. It's a lot of fun, but the comedy, unless it's John C. Reilly, it's very hit and miss in sections. Leave all the comedy of John C. Reilly, and it's funny. But otherwise, all the other jokes don't really hit well. The plot, it's a monster movie. It's similar to Godzilla. Everyone thinks that this giant being is a destructive force, and he's really just doing good in an area, protecting his territory. So there's not a massive amazing plot script or anything. Like I said, I do believe the King Kong 2005 is a better film, but the action in this one is way better. So, well, it was a fun movie. I will say, if you just want to watch a movie for fun and enjoy yourself, I would say go watch Kong Skull Island. But if you're more of a cinematic Kong purist person, you will prefer the 2005 King Kong over this. It is definitely unique, I will say. I had a fun time watching it. I will give it a 7 out of 10, a positive review. But it was what I expected it to be. Don't be surprised, if anything. I'm not making any sense. Sorry, I've had a long night and everything. Look, it's a good film for the fun factor, but it's nothing amazing. Except for the choreography of the fight scenes of Kong. That is amazing. The action is great. But there's nothing really eye-popping in this film, I would say. One thing I would say you must stay for if you really want to get involved in this universe, because these days it's the MCU, the DCEU, the Star Wars, Transformers, all these cinematic universes. It's what brings in all the money. So now the Monster Universe is doing it. Yeah, so at the end credits, there's an end credit scene for Kong Skull Island, and not like a mid-credit scene with the Marvel films. You have to wait at least a good 10 minutes, watch all the credits, and you see this awesome end credit scene. It's a really treat for anyone in this Monster Universe. I'm not going to spoil what it is, but I recommend you stay for it. But do not look at the credits while they're scrolling just at the end, because it kind of spoils it, which I did spoil for my friend because he spoils Flash for me all the time. And by the way, this is not Kong, this is Grodd, because I'm a Flash fan and I'm still on season 2, and my dad and work and all my mates keep on spoiling for me every single day. So I spoiled the end credit scene, because when I went to the cinema to watch Kong Skull Island, the session before was also Kong, and unfortunately we saw the end credit scene before the film. But it's still great. It was probably the highlight of the whole thing. So yeah, I recommend if you want to have a fun time at the cinemas, go watch Kong Skull Island. Otherwise, don't expect anything amazing. It has the human characters are a bit dodgy. It's a bad script. It's very cheesy, but it is a good time. The visual effects and all. So yeah. So now that's my review of Kong Skull Island. I will say I'm aware of my video editing and everything, the camera and the images, but I'm getting this software update so I can get a better visual. start putting images in my videos, because I know I'm taking things out of context when I'm doing my recordings. And the other thing I want to say is my next 3 videos, I can tell I'll be doing a review for Beauty and the Beast, Power Rangers, and Lego Batman movie. I will do video reviews on that. And later on I'll do Furious 8 and what I'm looking forward to, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Otherwise, thanks for watching my video. Go watch Kong Skull Island if you want to have a great time. And I'll see you guys later. Thank you, YouTube. Please leave a subscription and a like, please. If there's anything wrong with this video, do leave it unlike and tell me if anything is wrong where I can improve. And yes, thank you. See you guys later.